Hello and welcome to the Beginner's Tatting video series. Today this video, it's going to be a short one. It is for needle tatters. The other day I was in class and there was a lady there that explained how the true ring works. And there is a difference between the true ring and a self-closing mock ring. Most needle tatters use a self-closing mock ring when making a ring. But there is another way you can make the ring, and it's not as loose, and you don't have to knot after it. So today I'm going to show you how to do that. It's fairly simple, but it is complicated when you read it on paper. But it is a simple technique, and it does look better in my opinion. But first, we're going to thread our needle. Now we've got the right needle that matches the size 3 crochet cotton that I'm using today. So here we go. We're going to thread our needle and we're ready. Okay? Now, the way that we normally do a ring in needle tatting, I'm going to do that first, and then I'm going to show you the way a true ring is done. In regular needle tatting, what you're going to do is you've got your tail coming out the back of your needle. Then you're going to have your loop. Okay? Now, with your loop, remember it hangs down and you put your fingers on that loop like that to hold it in place. Okay? The next thing you're going to do is you're going to go your first half of your double stitch and then the second half. And today I'm going to do 3 picot 3 picot 3 picot 3 picots with 3 double stitches in between. That is easier for me right now. For some reason my brain is moving faster than the rest of my body. Now if it would change places, I would be a happy girl. Okay, so we've got 3 picot 3. We need to get 2 more picots in there. I'm not going to use a picot gauge because this is just showing you the difference between the two rings. So once we get that done, you'll see the true ring is much nicer. And you may find you'll use it more often. But it's not a common ring used in needle tatting. Some people say they have trouble with joining to it and stuff. I don't see where that problem lies. If somebody would, let me know what they're having trouble with in joining to it, I would be more than happy to try to work it out and do a video on it to show you how to do it. So, but for today, I'm just going to show you the difference between the two rings and how to do a true ring. Now, we've got 3 picot, 3 picot, 3 picot 3 on our needle. Now, we're going to make a regular tatted ring or a self-closing mock ring with that. Remember, we pull our needle through, keep our finger in the little loop, okay? And we want to pull that tail out. Get it out of the way. Okay? Run our needle up through that loop. Pull it through. Now we're going to close our ring. Now, when you make a ring before, like this, before moving to the next element, you have to tie a knot in it. Needle tatters, run the needle up through there and flip the element over to get the knot in. The reason for that, it puts the working thread in there for the direction you're going to go. Okay? Now I'm just going to throw some double stitches on here. No particular pattern or anything today. So once I get a few on here, we're going to get the true ring done. Okay? We just want to put a little separation between the two. Okay, now I've managed to put on there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double stitches. Okay, now we pull our thread through, make sure our chain is in the direction we want. Now we're going to tie our knot in there. Okay? Now that is the standard way most needle tatters tat. Okay? Pull it tight. Make sure that knot's in place and we've turned it. It's in position for the next element. Okay? Now, that is how you do a normal, everyday ring and chain for a needle tatter. Okay? Now I'm going to lay that right there so that you can see that. Now we're going to do a true ring and a chain the same way. And it's going to be the same generic pattern. That way you can see what I'm doing. Okay? And how it works. Now I've threaded my needle. Now, before I go too far, I do want to let you all know I have been asked to do a pattern for a tag-along, video tag-along, and it is a pair of earrings. The pattern was designed by Carolyn Groves and Cynthia Stevenson with the beginner's tatting class asked me, she said, do you think you can make a video on it? And I said, if I have her permissions to use her pattern, I can do the video. Well, I went out and got my supplies and everything to make the earrings and make the video. So what I'm going to do is put a tag-along up on the site. The earrings will be done shuttle tatted, but the pattern can also be done in needle. Okay? And it's a fun pattern. It's a pretty pattern, and it is a pair of earrings. So hopefully within the next week to week and a half, that video tag-along will be up on the site. So look for it. I hope you enjoy it. And like I say, Carolyn Groves designed this pattern. It is really, really cute. I will have links to the pattern. I will give you the list of supplies, everything you need down in the description box for the video tag-along. So look for it. I hope you enjoy it and I hope you have fun with it. And here Christmas is coming up. You know, somebody that needs a pair of earrings, make them a pair of those earrings. See? There you go. You got a Christmas present taken care of. Now, we're going to get back to this true ring. Now, the directions that is on the Handy Hands website for the true ring says cut off 40 inches of thread and work with that and practice, okay? Once you get the hang of it, you don't need to cut it from the ball. Today, I'm not going to cut it from the ball because most tatters aren't going to cut off 40 inches of thread and tat that 40 inches and then do another 40 inches. They're just not going to do it. It's too many ends to hide in. It's a pain if you tat like that, and it takes the joy out of tatting. So we're going to do it using the ball thread attached so that you can see exactly how to do this. And then you'll be able to continue on working whatever pattern you're working. But we are going to use a large amount of thread. Now, on the website at Handy Hands, it says to leave a 4-inch tail. Okay? I suggest leave a tail that you can work with. Okay? But for practice purposes, stick with the directions on Handy Hands website for the true ring. Because if you don't, then you're going to waste a ton of thread. And tatting thread is costly, so you don't want to waste it. So here we go. Now I have my tail on my needle, and I have this loop. Now, what you're going to do, this loop is attached to this ball thread. Let me get all this loose thread here that I'll be working with to show you. Now you're going to take this thread that's going to your ball. You're going to lay it on the back side You see that? Of your tatting needle. And you're going to end up with a loop like this. That's what you're working with. Okay? So here we go. You're going to do your first double stitch. Now mind you, we're going to do that same pattern. 3 picots separated by 3 double stitches. Okay? And as you can see, I'm working back to the back point of this needle. Now I will do this in close-up so that you can see better what I'm doing. But for right now, you need the whole shot. Okay? And as you get closer to the back of your needle, it'll get a little tighter for your fingers. That's why I say leave you a big enough loop to work with, because that's the thread you're working with. And if you've got an extremely long tail, you can pull from that tail, because basically what you're working from is your tail thread. Okay? So we're going to keep going. We got one more picot. As you can see, it's getting a little snug for my fingers. I've got big fingers. But that's alright. We got a couple of more stitches to do. That's the last double stitch. Okay, now we've got our 3 picots. 3 double stitches on each side of the picot. That one didn't come out as big as the rest of them, but that's alright. This is demonstration. Okay, now you see, I don't know if you can see how this works. This here is our thread that goes to the ball. It is towards the end of the needle where the tail is at. You see that? Let me lay that out so you can get a good view of that. May even zoom in on that so you can see. Let's do that. See if we can't get a good shot zooming in. Alright, turn it around just a little bit. Get it all in camera shot so you can see. This thread here is going to the ball. This is our tail thread right here. There's the tail. You see, your ball thread comes towards the tail. Okay? Now, let me zoom back out so you can see me close this ring, and then we're going to do a close-up of it so you can see exactly how it goes. Okay? Now, you see I've got my threads, both of my threads in my hand. There is a reason for that. You want to keep this as tight as you can keep it, because as you pull it to the end, you've really got to put pressure on that thread to keep it from twisting, because if it twists and makes a moon shape, you did it wrong. Okay? Now, pull your fingers out of your thread. Now watch this. Watch. You're going to pull it around, pull it around. Okay? See it? We're making a real ring using this method. Okay? I'm trying to do it to where you can see it step by step. Okay? And there is your ring. See that? And it's closed. You don't need to put a knot in there. You can, to move on to the next element, say you want your chain to come in, you want to flip it, go on. You don't have to knot it. When you rotate your work to do your next element, if doing a true ring, you do not have to put a knot in there. Shuttle tatters don't have to put a knot, and this is the same basic ring that a shuttle tatter does. They make a loop and tat it up. And you can see there is a difference. This one is a little loose. This one's really, really tight. Your stitches are real tight and they hold. Okay, let me zoom in on both of those so you can see, and then we're going to do a close-up of how to do this true ring. Okay, let me get zoomed in. Get everything situated. And here's the true rings. Let me hold that up. Let's see. Can you see that? You see how tight that is? That is a very tight stitch. Okay? This is just a regular ring done using a self-closing mock ring, is what shuttle tatters call it. And it's a ring and needle tatting. But that's the difference. There's your original way, and there is the true ring right next to it. If I can get them both in camera shot to where you can see. Get something with the lighting here and get it to quit glaring a little bit. Maybe. Okay? Can you see that? To the naked eye and to an unversed tatter, a person that doesn't know anything about tatting, they wouldn't know the difference, but to a tatter, they will. This one is much tighter. Much, much tighter. So, there's the gist of it. So now that we've got good zoom in on this, what we're going to do, lay that all to the side. I'm going to take it out just a hair. Not much, because I really want you to see what I'm doing here, because this is something needle tatters could use. It's very, very helpful. And I'm so thankful. Her name is Margaret. And I'm so thankful she explained this to me, because I was under the impression, as most tatters that tat needle, a true ring is the ring you've been doing. You know, self-closing mock ring. And it's not. And she was very detail-oriented in explaining how to do it. Now, because we're working with our tail thread, we'll make us a pretty decent-sized tail. Now this is our ball thread. It's going to our ball, see? Now here's our needle. Take our ball thread, make a loop. If it's easier for you to do it on the table to see what you're doing, do that. I did it when I first started practicing, and it worked. It helped. Lay it on the table. Make a ring. Okay, can you see all that? Let me get it up here so you can see all that. Make yourself a ring. Lay your needle at the top of that ring. Pick it up. You've got your thread in the right direction. Okay? You're working in the right direction. Everything's set the way it's supposed to go. So that's a simplified way of doing it. Maybe we'll pull that tail up. Okay? Now we're going to put on our stitches. Remember, it's 3 picots separated by 3 double stitches. We're going to do that same thing. Okay? But we're working with this loop. Okay? I'm going to do another picot here. Keep moving till we get our 3 picots in. And if you get a particularly long, lengthy pattern on needle, there is workarounds. You can pull the threads off halfway, you know, pull them off back here like you're going to close, but don't, and continue on if you run out of needle space. There are workarounds for needle tatters for lengthy rings or chains that you're doing. You know, if it's got like 10,000 picots in it and 10,000 stitches, you need all the room you can get. And you see, it's getting tighter and tighter. It's because I'm working with that loop. Okay? Now we have our 3 picots and our 3 double stitches. Now, look at our picture here. You see, this is our ball thread. And it's coming out right here towards our tail thread. That's what you want. Once you do that, okay, then you slide it down just like you're going to close a ring. You pull just a little bit, not all the way. Hold that taut, very, very taut. Keeps them stitches from flipping. And just keep moving. Once you've got your loop up there, put your thumb in it. That's the best way I could find to do it. Okay, and then close that ring. And there you go. There's your true ring. So I hope that helps you. And as you can see, pull it up tight. It ain't going nowhere, and you ain't got to tie no knot. So I really like that. I'm glad I learned it, and I'm glad I could show you guys how to do it, because nobody has a video out there. It's all written in black and white form, and that makes it hard on somebody that is a visual learner, that they need to see something done. And so maybe this will help you guys. And anybody out there that does true ring, if you see that I have made an error on this video and that I've done a step wrong, please correct me, because I do want my viewers to get everything right. I want them to know that, you know, they can learn something, and that what they're learning is the way it's supposed to be done. But I am following pictorial diagrams of how to do this. And this is my terminology of what I see. Now, like I say, as someone that does the true ring on a regular basis, if I'm doing it wrong, please, please, please comment and let me know, so that I can correct it and make a correction to the video. So on that note, I hope you enjoyed it. Look for the video tag along in the next couple of weeks, and I will see you then. So until then, happy tatting and have a wonderful, great day. Thank you.